Yet another powerful episode with Mr. Justin Raj, and I could not let him go till the time he let us know how was his experience with HR analytics from IIM Rohtak. And Justin, thank you so much for your first episode wherein you shared so gracefully your journey from being an intern to a strategic HR business partner, how you navigated through all the industries, and how you unleashed your potential with English, your gut feeling. Moving on, and a brilliant piece of advice for our followers that please only follow your passion. सो जब आप पैशन फॉलो कर रहे थे तो किस करियर के स्टेज पे आपको लगा कि एचआर एनालिटिक्स कोर्स मुझे करना चाहिए? द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज हाउ यू शॉर्टलिस्टेड कि मुझे एचआर एनालिटिक्स कोर्स ही करना है, बिकॉज देयर आर मेनी एचआर short term and long term courses, and then why from IIMs? Over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. So for me, okay, the first thing is that I always knew that I need to keep continuing my education. You know, आपको कुछ ना कुछ add on करता रहना आपका skill sets में. That's how
True.
you grow.
True.
Right? So and then why HR analytics and why IIM is because of few reasons. One, जब मैंने HR career start किया था, I think while I started working on the ground and all, I realized that area where I lack a little bit in terms of my knowledge is the analytical parts. You know, where because you know I literally felt that while I was doing my you know post graduation, the focus was more on the theory parts of you know on the stuff. The
True.
analytical part was little lesser. You know, so
Okay.
and I clearly understood that if I need to have a long term career in HR, these are the few skills which I need to learn. तो इसलिए एचआर एनालिटिक्स कोर्स करने का सोचा। दूसरा चीज ये है कि जिस चीज से आपको डर लगता है यू नो दैट इज माय वे ऑफ अनदर यू नो पुटिंग इट आउट। मुझे डर लगता था एनालिटिकल पार्ट से यू नो आई वाज स्कैर्ड ऑफ
एनालिसिस
मैथ्स थ्रू आउट
पार्ट,
माय
एनालिटिकल पार्ट, डेटा
एग्जैक्टली
पार्ट मेनली
डेटा
कि इसको
पार्ट या
एनालाइज
सो
कैसे करेंगे फॉर बिजनेस यूज.
exactly so throughout my studies I think I was very scared of maths. So I was thinking कि अगर मुझे you know like if I am to put some you know money, hard earned money, you know, and spend some time to learn things, why not the thing which I'm scared of the most, you know, like rather than usually going into the strong you know so where your core strength lies, rather than that go for something which where you feel that you don't have that much of skill set, right? So that was the reason. Second reason why I am Rohtak, this is again a very you might find it a very silly thought, बट फॉर मी क्या हुआ था कि जब मैंने अपना पीजीडीएम किया और जब मैं अपनी करियर में स्टार्ट किया, so for me I was never thinking it from a long term perspective, or I didn't had that understanding of how things work, right? So जब मैं अपना पीजीडीएम कर रहा था, that's exactly when I got to know कि एचआर में you know, so I mean so for to explain it very simple, when I was doing my PhD, that's when the first time I heard about XLRI Jamshedpur.
Okay.
You know, it's a pretty premier, you know, B school for HR. But
नो डाउट अबाउट इट, एक्सेलआरआई टॉप 5 में है, और स्टूडेंट्स को बता दें कि लेबर लॉ के लिए इट इज वन ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशन, एंड वी हैव ग्रेट एचआर इन इंडिया वर्किंग फ्रॉम एक्सेलआरआई. या प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
Yeah, so for me that was the moment when I thought कि यार मुझे अगर करना ही था तो I should have gone for XLRI or IIM or something. And at that point of time तो क्या हुआ, जैसे मैंने कोर्स किया सब कुछ किया उसके बाद I thought you know I had a feeling कि I want this IIM or XLRI on my resume. You know, it might be so because we talk about ATS, which applicant tracking system, right? So I have, when I started working on Naukri, when I started seeing you know talent acquisition people putting these words in Naukri and start searching, that's when I realized कि मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं इस बारे में कि मुझे अपना पढ़ाई टॉप बी स्कूल से करना है या फिर IIM XLR ये सब होना है मेरे सही में. तो my another thought of thing was that if I'm putting in my money, if I want to do it, why not from the you know best B school available? You know, why not from a IIM or a XLRI? So that was my second reason of doing it from IIM Rohtak. So because if you look at the curriculum I think almost all are the same curriculum, and you will not get an understanding of also of the curriculum just by looking at the brochure or you know the thing, because topics will almost be the same. You don't know how in depth the knowledge is. But for me, I was thinking knowledge, obviously the curriculum is there, Other than that, the other reason is to have that IIM on my resume. That is my way of looking at it at that point of time.
तो
So
यू मीन
that
टू
was
से
the
कि
reason.
जो एप्लीकेंट ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम होता है एटीएस, स्टूडेंट्स विल फाइंड लॉट ऑफ वीडियोस ऑन एटीएस ऑन आवर चैनल आल्सो. सो एटीएस में या जब आप naukri.com पे यू यूज टू फाइंड जॉब्स, so tag really matters. IIM pass out, XLRI pass out, it really matters with big organization or otherwise also in the industry, you're saying?
It matters with big organizations, obviously. Not with every organization, but with the big organization, definitely yes. So what
Okay.
happened? Even I have faced this in my career, right? When I was trying to switch organizations, or there are organizations which look for the top, B schools. They
Okay.
definitely want you to coming out from the top 4 or 5 B schools. So yes,
Okay.
it does matters.
So what exactly you did in the course? What was the content for HR analytics on a broader way, just for our fresher HR people or who are already working in the HR function, not in the domain of HR analytics? तो उस कोर्स के अंदर क्या क्या कवर्ड होता है when you have done it from IIM Rohtak?
So, okay, just to give you an example, I think, in any field, you need to quantify the work, or you need to give some metrics to the work that you're doing. Otherwise, it's like, it's just, it's just vague things that you're doing, every day.
True.
But in HR field, I think every field you can actually put across things in metrics, right? So, for example, if I talk about talent acquisition, right, for every position or acquisition that you create, there is a tat, right? कितने दिन में आपने position close किया, या फिर what or say for example, what's the maximum tat that you took to close some, a niche profile or something. So
Hmm.
एक तो आपका talent acquisition में there is various metrics that is used, or when you come to the HRBP space, there is again another lot of engagement related metrics, right? Like your attrition rate हो गया, आपका voluntary turnover rate हो गया. These are few things which you need to know even if you are not into a proper HR analytical role. So
Sure.
for me, I'll tell you why. What was the thought in looking at the curriculum was, earlier I thought I will not get into HR analytical role. There are so many
Hmm.
analytical roles available.
Hmm.
Many organizations have proper HR analytical roles available. But if
Hmm.
not also, whenever in an HRBP role, when you talk to a business, not just in an HRBP role, in fact, I see a lot of learning and development specialists also use this kind of metrics these days, in terms
Hmm.
of showing the overall output of the learning program that they are using, right? So
Hmm.
there are so many things where you can show data in a analytical way. So that
Okay.
was one thing. So that way, the course itself, it has how to define KRAs, how to find out productivity of an employee using different
Okay.
metrics,
Okay.
how to put a 9-box grid, basis the potential versus performance of an employee, right? So those
Hmm.
are the things which I learned there. But honestly, to be very transparent, one mistake I did was, at that point of time, I was
Sure.
too early in my career.
Okay.
So I didn't got the opportunity to perform those tasks. And the another reason, which I'll tell it in a very different way. I knew where I was jumping into, right? So that's how I would like
Okay.
to put it. So when I
Okay.
joined the course, I looked at my colleagues who are doing the course, right?
Hmm.
And all of them were senior industry HR leaders, right?
Okay.
With having 10 years of experience, 8 years of experience, 15 years of experience. And here I was with 2 years of experience doing that course,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So, and few of them were already into the HR analytics,
Role.
work related stream
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
roles, right? So what happened, what one thing that I saw, I'll tell the positive and the negative side both, right? So we
Sure.
used to have group kind of sessions where we used to do work on data in a group. The negative side was that I couldn't match up with their knowledge of the things.
Their
They were very quick
understanding.
in
हाँ.
their understanding of things. They were very quick in doing things. That was the negative side. I was way behind them, in that way. But the positive side is, again, I was sitting with them, right? So the way they start thinking, the way, so it I mean, while doing the project, I felt like, I was not learning anything, and it was not making sense to me. But trust me, that has helped me in my career journey so far, right?
Sure.
With, I mean, today when I talk to business, I can definitely talk from this particular,
This
topics.
perspective.
Yeah,
Yes.
perspective, right?
Yeah.
And this usually comes with people having that many years of experience, right? So I talk with HRBPs with 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience. So here exactly the experience doesn't matter. My knowledge matters whenever I have a discussion with people with those kind of experience. So that was my way of putting it. But definitely the course was very extensive. Again,
What's the
only
duration
it
of the
is
course?
it was 6 months if I remember clearly, but
And
it was
what about the
online course.
classes? Weekend, online, recorded sessions, in
It was
person?
weekend. It was weekend online classes. I think
Okay.
Thursday and Saturdays they used to have a half day class, and Thursday they used to have a evening class.
Two
It was way
hours or
back in
so.
2000. Yeah, it was way back in 2018 when I did it.
18. Okay.
And then yeah, and then we had 2 or 3 campus immersion session also towards the end.
And what was the tentative cost that time? If you remember, I'm sure there will be addition to that
Yes,
cost now.
yes. So when I did it was around 85,000.
Okay. And do they offer any kind of placement or recruitment support from their
No,
alumni database? Okay. They don't.
no,
Okay.
they don't.
Okay. So what I understood that, when you were doing this course, you had people who were already into this course, not just from HR analytics role, but they were having hands-on, extensive amount of years. The number of
Exactly.
years
Yeah.
were more, 8 years or 10
Yes,
years.
correct.
So when
Correct.
now you look back at your journey, when you did it in 2018, you said it was pretty early in your career. तो अगर
Hmm.
आज एक स्टूडेंट पास आउट हो रहा है, ही इज अ ग्रेजुएट और ही इज अ पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट एंड दे वांट टू लैंड अप इनटू द एचआर फंक्शन, आपको क्या लगता है
Hmm.
उसको कब एचआर एनालिटिक्स कोर्स करना चाहिए? बिकॉज I completely agree that you need hands-on information to understand the data first, then only you are going to
Hmm.
move into HR analytics. And for
Right.
that, the industry nuances, the working practical nuances of what an attrition, how it works, how talent acquisition is being done, how resourcing is being done. You should have all that information before you analyze that particular data.
Correct. Yeah.
What is your
So for
viewpoint? Yeah.
what I think, ma'am, is it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have. What
Okay.
matters is do you actually get a chance to work on data. So, for
Oh, okay.
example, for me at that point of time, in that role that I was doing at that point of time, I was not supposed to work on data. I had
Okay.
hands-on things on the data, but I was not supposed to be working on the data in my role, right? So that was the thing. So if you have access to work on data, be it, I mean, it doesn't matter how many years of experience you carry, right? You can have 5 years, 15 years, and I'm sure the people, the leaders who were in that course with 15 or 20 years of experience, they are not doing it hands-on. They definitely have a HR analytic, person in the team,
Team or a
but
person.
they
Yeah.
had the access, yeah, but they had the access to data on which they can work and they could improve their knowledge. So that's what matters. It's not the years of experience, but if you can get your hands dirty on the data, then definitely go for it. Years of experience
Sure.
doesn't matter.
Sure. So as we understood that the tag do matters, IIMs and IITs and XLRI. What is your view on short-term courses on HR analytics, 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, offered by Udemy, Coursera, EduX? There is Coral University also, the one who is offering HR analytics, a very popular course. What is your viewpoint? How can a student, a fresher or an experienced professional can decide कि मुझे तो IIM से ही करना है या tag ही important होना चाहिए?
See, okay, for me, I believe in continuous learning. So if you look at my LinkedIn, also I've done a lot of certifications, even free ones, from LinkedIn, Udemy. So what I've done is once I move to organization, in the new organization, this is one of the things that I asked my interviewer in early. So I asked whether do you have a learning platform? If yes, what are the learning platforms that you use, right? So whether it's LinkedIn, free LinkedIn learning platform or a Udemy course. So in Randstad, we provide Udemy. So what happens is that, so I've started doing courses from these free platforms also, right? So you don't definitely have to go
Have to
to
invest.
one
Yeah.
particular, have to invest. So I look at it in two ways, right? One is definitely you need to keep learning. It doesn't matter where you are in your career, in beginning or mid, you need to keep learning. Second thing is, so for me, when you are learning, I mean, certifications are definitely good because that gives you knowledge. It keeps on, that it not just knowledge, it inculcates a kind of learning behavior in you. You feel like, because what happens, I've seen in most of the people is after they have completed their masters, they completely stop learning, and later when they are put through a training or on the job training, it becomes kind of little bit difficult to learn things, or grasping, because they have lost the touch of learning. It becomes like a forced kind of learning. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, what has happened is that I kind of, going through that learning, like spending some time on weekends to learn, is something which I've been practicing, throughout, right? So that's one
Mm-hmm.
way of looking at it for me. Second thing is, when I for me, when I spent that HR analytics, when I did the HR analytics course, the amount of money that I put into that course was at least 3 or 4 times my salary at that point of time.
Okay,
It was I took a EMI and I did the course, right?
sure.
So if you ask me, that's two way of looking at it. One is, you are putting your hard earned money into something, so you definitely want to get the maximum out of it. And
True.
secondly, do you have the capacity to do it at that point of time? So whenever you're investing in any course, when you're thinking of doing it in that way, check whether that course, what value addition that course is giving to you, right? I'll give you another example that I did. I have participated in Jombe's 40 under 40 HR, HR journey, where they declare you as 40 under 40 HR leaders. So when
Sure.
I participated in that program, I was the youngest participant in that entire journey. So we had, I'm from Bangalore, so within Bangalore there were around 200, 300 leaders who participated in the entire. It was again a 6 months of entire journey where they, take you through different learnings, different assessments. Finally, they declare the 40 under 40. So
Mm-hmm.
when I joined again, I felt that I was the youngest one participant in that group, right? So for me, winning that title was not the thing that was there in my mind when I participated.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, there was a participant fees also. For me, what was there is the learning opportunity that I'm getting. So what happened, I got in touch with a lot of CHROs or a VPHRs, very senior HR leaders, right? And that kind of, even today, I am in touch with so many HR leaders in Bangalore. And for someone like me, with coming with 5.5 6.5 years of experience, having connects with CHROs has helped me in terms of, networking, in terms of gaining from their knowledge. And that's what I look at. So learning is it in a different way for people. That's the way I look at it.
No, that's amazing because since the beginning of your journey, I think you were a very passionate person to not just to prove yourself in the industry, but you were learning throughout your journey. And you
Yeah.
rightly said, yes, while students, you are actually deciding a certification, you have to understand not just your capability or competency, but you have to understand at what stage of your career you are, how you are going
Correct.
to learn, and how you're going to implement this learning. To be precise, what is going to be the immediate usage of that particular certification you are going to do. So,
True.
while we were talking about in the first episode about your HRBP, human resource business partner role, then strategies, then now HR analytics course, let's talk about some salaries also, because student recent pass out, everybody needs a handsome salary, but
Correct.
people with experience always talk about gaining work experience first. What
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
your say on this note? What kind of salaries should now students, freshers, or professionals should expect, keeping the current job market in the viewpoint?
Yeah. So if you ask me, salaries depend on so many factors, ma'am. Looking at the place that you're working in or the industry that you are in, there are definitely many parameters. But one thing I would definitely say is that, in HR space, as I said, salary. I mean, if you have done an MBA or a PGDM, and then you get into HR not for the salary part. Salary, as you rightly said, with experience it will come, right? And I am a firm believer that over a period of time it should grow. So I, again, from my own experience, when I was taking HR, one of the, as I said, one of the things which my placement committee head, a professor at that point of time, told me was that, in HR salaries are very less, right? And then, she was I really want to thank her for opening my eye, because as I told you in the beginning, I took a PGDM or MBA because I wanted to earn money, right?
Sure.
So she gave me actually it was like an eye opener for me. So she
Reality
said,
check.
reality check. She told me, go for a sales and marketing, you might land up an average salary of 7 to 8 or 10 lakhs, right? And same if you go for a HR, the starting initial package might be between 3 to 5 lakhs somewhere, that's a bracket.
True.
And that's it, right? So that's how you start. And if you're not from a IIM or a XLRI, so she was very kind enough to give me the reality check. So after giving it a thought, still remember the thing that I told her is, I'm okay with scaling up from a 3 to 5 lakh to a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 over a period of time, rather than getting into a 10 or a 20 and then failing up myself, not being able to be a performer, not being able to enjoy my work. So that was my thought at that point of time, and I think that was the right decision I took, because over a period of time I have seen growth in my salary, and to be very honest, your work speaks for yourself. You don't have to every time ask for the money. Money will follow. You need to ask for work, more challenging work, and definitely money will follow. So if
Sure.
you ask me from a salary perspective where I wanted to be in my career, I think I'm very much there, right? So yeah, but for a HR professional, starting somewhere between 3 to 5, depending on the city that you are in and the kind of role that you are getting into, if you're
Sure.
not from a top uh, B school.
So when you talk about HR analytics, what kind of future one can have after holding a PGDBM or an MBA in HR and holding the HR analytics certification?
Definitely, there is a lot of future, because I think in every industry, in every role, we talk about data these days, right? Data is the key, right? For everything, we need data. So I think from that perspective, definitely HR analytics has a huge role. Also because I mean, it's a very it's a industry wide joke that people tell that HR makes rangolis, right? But today HR can definitely give you data on rangolis, on also in terms of how many rangolis did we made in last 1 year, right? If you want to know how many employee engagement sessions we did, this is the data. This is the data that we can tell how many of engagement activities we did, how many of the employees participated in it, what was the feedback. We take everything, right? We do entire we that's where the data comes into place. So today if somebody asks us, let me tell you, all the HRs can show you data also in terms of what they have done in their last 1 year. So that's where analytics come into picture, and I think there's a lot of scope in this part. Also because, as I said, every industry, every field today speaks about data, right? And the HR definitely talks about data. And the part is, there is so much for HR to show in data, right? So it's not like you don't have data only. You have data. It's just that we need people who are hands-on into data on how to work around it. And at the end of the day, data is all about interpreting the data. So it's about storytelling. So I believe HRs who have a deadly combination of, data analytics and storytelling, they make a, they make a deadly combo. So yes, definitely. And also I remember, just to add on, I remember HR intern asking me 2 3 years back, asking me, sir, should I go for a HR analytics certification, or kind of a different into soft skill training, in terms of personality development and all. And I remember telling them, definitely, if you are keen on analyzing data, you can work on data. HR analytics is the future. So definitely, yes, there's a lot of scope.
So one should clearly, from your saying, one should clearly have the passion and interest while working with data. So for example,
Yes.
people who are not keen to work with data, they should not opt for HR analytics because it is all about handling and using the data.
I would say yes, because from my perspective, see, when you're putting out a data, when you are showing the data to anybody and stakeholders, you need to understand what your data is trying to interpret. There might be deeper meanings to it. Whatever you can see on the screen, that might not be the real picture, right? So for example, I might be telling that my overall attrition last year was 40%, right? And that might not give the real picture of what has happened, why there is 40%, right? Now then you need to tell that this is a voluntary attrition, this is involuntary attrition, right? So if you look at in depth, the story might be completely different. There might be some reason why the data that is there is,
True.
showing in that way, right? So you need to have that understanding, that not just put numbers on the screen to tell people that this is what the numbers is. You need to tell the story behind the numbers. So yes, there needs to be a, passion on a, not just numbers, that way.
So what I actually work on a lot of such various tools, but I would like to learn from you. But before that, I would like to tell our followers that mere data analysis is not with tools. It is not just the work done. You need to learn how to interpret that data that can be utilized for the other business function of the organization. So while you were working on the certification or on the later part also in the implementation in the industry, what three top tools that is being used in HR analytics program?
So there are a lot of tools that is there in the market available today.
Yeah,
I
the
have
most one
had,
which is being used practically in the corporate, roughly two, three.
I think Workday is one of the tool.
Okay,
Then we have Oracle, Workday. Then we have Oracle also.
okay,
That are the two things that I have seen extensively being used. And then obviously there is SAP.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. And quickly, I would also like to request you that if somebody is applying for HR analytics role, and if you are at the seat of an interviewer, what kind of questions you are going to ask from them, from a person or a professional who is applying for a pure HR analytics role or a job in the company?
Okay, so
Technical ones, not just these personality parts and tell me about yourself, not that stuff, but roughly 3 to 5 technical questions which is related to the job role of HR analysis.
so I think maybe on what's going to be the employer turnover ratio, how you calculate that. If yeah, so how you can calculate the employee turnover ratio, or maybe on
The formulas basically.
yeah, sure, formulas. How do you calculate it, or
Okay.
or maybe on that's one, or I might even look at things like if they are into, say for example, onboarding ratio, like
Okay.
I mean offer to onboarding ratio, right? That can be another thing.
So
Also
when you
on
say
air.
onboarding, I would like to explain it here. For example, you selected 10 people and onboarding ratio says that how many joined, one, how many joined because of so and so reason, and the one who did not join, what was their reason? And you have to analyze it accordingly. And then the result, the analysis of the result is being put into the recruitment strategy the next time. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Please go in.
Or
Yeah.
or you can even ask something like early attrition. What's even if within the attrition, what's your early attrition rate? How do you count it? Right. That's one of the things that I can think of, asking, because these are data which are very important,
Sure.
right? Or even as I said, what's your involuntary rate, or one involuntary rate of attrition. There's a few things I think very important, which I could ask them.
So mainly the formulas around the ratios, to analyze
Yeah,
each and
yeah,
every situation. And,
yeah.
Justin, while I was talking to you, I remember because I did my PhD in recruitment process outsourcing with
Hmm.
specific reference to pharmaceutical industry. Attrition used to be one of the major concern with pharmaceuticals because for low salary, people change like anything. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you being from an RPO, Randstad is one of the top organization in RPO. I'm sure a lot of people, still want to know what an RPO is and how you use various aspects of HR in recruitment process outsourcing, wherein the business line is RPO itself. So, I would definitely would like to have a short podcast in time to come, wherein we
sure.
would like to explore what is RPO and how a normal RPO is different from a routine normal consultant, and why
Yeah,
a company should go for RPO collaborations, and what are the benefits of taking RPO, the size of organization, the business goal, you're searching for a niche profile, you need an RPO. So somewhere down the
yeah,
line, I will definitely would like to come down to our channel once again to help
sure.
us know that when you're working with Randstad and RPO, what you
Mm.
exactly mean by RPO and what one should look forward, because it's a very big time business. Working for an RPO is also one of the biggest HR career one could ever have. So what are your plans now, your next 5 years plan, especially on the skill area? What would you like to learn now next?
Okay, so yeah,
And
thanks
this
for
is for
asking that
people who
question.
are with equivalent of your experience, 7 to 8 to 10 years. Somebody who
Yeah.
has so much of experience, worked in HRBP, recruitment, strategy, analytics. So, what next for you and people of your age and experience?
So for me, the way I look at it, I divide my goals as long-term career goals and short-term career goals.
Okay.
Long-term career goal for me, obviously, ma'am, is to be a CHRO. That's my
Okay.
career long-term goal. And so on. So I divide it into short-term goals. So for me, next
Sure.
5 years, I would definitely want to scale up to a business head HR role where I could be looking at I could be looking at handling the entire HR function for a business, not
Okay.
just be the HR BP, but rather handle the entire business as a HR head. That's my maybe next 5 year plan. And as you said, there are different goals in this journey. But the immediate one that I'm definitely thinking about is to get the SHRM SCP certification. That's one
Oh,
of my immediate plans. I'm working towards it. Let's see when I can get it done.
for our followers and subscribers on Leader in Making, since HR is also my core area of work, so you guys will find two videos. Suddenly, it has gained a huge popularity on our channel. One video, I'll definitely have a link also at the end of this podcast. One is your short-term HR courses. Another video talks about long-term HR courses for professionals, and it has all the detail of HRM from SPM, and you can do that. And I think you are at the absolutely at the correct stage, Justin, and you
Thank you.
justify all your qualifications, the technical skills, and my best wishes to you and sharing so much of your knowledge, your experience. Just while we are parting away, I would definitely would like to request a couple of more episode, one on your career counseling, how it has added to your knowledge. Another
Mhm.
sometime what is RPO all about, so that it gives a great knowledge to our own students and followers here. So
Sure.
while we are parting away from this particular podcast, what three golden advice you would like to give to people who are moving on with the campus placements with an offer in hand, or otherwise off campus also?
Okay. Three advice, I would say. First one is that keep an open mind to learn things. The way. Okay, for me, the one thing is that keep an open mindset. Always have this thing in your mind that whatever you're learning, it's a learning phase, right?
Sure.
Your perspectives might change later in your career journey. So at this moment, it does no right wrong. It's just that you just need to learn and keep an open mindset. That's one thing. Second thing is second thing definitely is that understand your career goals. So when I say understand your career goals, what I feel is that I mean as a HR, I would definitely emphasize on the organizational goals, visions, mission, and all. But I think um, I would suggest anybody to in the first instance, know they should have their own career, vision, mission, or their career statement. It's very, very important. While we put it in the CVs, their resumes there, but I think people generally don't understand the importance of that particular statement. It's very
Sure.
important to note it down, right? So that's helped me a lot, right? I have a clear career statement for myself, and that's the second thing. So when you start your career journey, get into a corporate role, put it out, define it out, what is your career statement, and start working towards it. And thirdly, is that take control over your career. That's very, very important. I think what happens is that over a period of time we go with the flow, right? We might in one of the organization we might be a star performer, and then we switch a role, and the new role we might be a meet expectation, and that's it. We feel that now I'm not up to the mark, or there can be different reasons, right? And the moment you lose you lose the essence is when you feel that you are done. I mean, you are not up to the mark. So what I would tell is that have your own career goals and your own goals and plans, because that will help you understand. I always believe in the word called improvising, right? You set a goal, you set a define the path, and then you keep on improvising. That's how you have a career, long term career.
Sure. And that counts in with one more advice, that when you are looking for job in the market, always pay attention to the job role, what exactly you are being asked to do. And second, the brand presence of the organization you are joining. And definitely you will be able to justify the salary in time to come, the moment you have the great experience and exposure. Justin, thank
Yeah.
you so very much for sharing such a valuable insights and giving so much to all our subscribers and followers. We look forward to shoot another podcast with you, but a message to all my followers, people who are really keen to have more queries, you want us to invite Justin on any specific topic, please do that. If you have any direct queries, you can also mention that in the comment section below. Further, we will also share Justin's LinkedIn ID, email, so that you can directly connect with Justin in case you have any direct query, because this is an open world. Feel free to reach out to him. I'm taking the liberty because he's so open, so generous and humble in sharing all his information. We wish you a very best of luck, and I hope you'll be able to do your all certifications in time to come. Soon you will be a business leader and a proud CHRO in time to come, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me, ma'am. It's an honor to be here. And if I could even inspire one of them out there, I'll be more than very happy. One last thing that I missed mentioning is that build your brand. When I say build your brand, be on LinkedIn. Connect with people, learn from them. That's what I have been doing. Random. I mean, build your profile there, and be quick to learn. You get to learn lot of things from people. And I always say, when if you're learning good things from other, if you're imitating good things from other, that's a good thing. I mean, if you can copy and learn and things which are making sense to you, then you should definitely do it, right? So please continue doing that.
So with this last word, my mind, as creative as always, you need to shoot one more episode with us. How an HR scale up a profile on LinkedIn. Please
Definitely,
prepare your
sure.
content and we will shoot an episode on that as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Thank
ma'am.
you
Sure.
so much
Sure.
and we wish you
Thank
all
you.
the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.